much the president of this Youth for Human Rights India, Dr. Arjumand Zaidi, and together with all the champions of global peace for this great initiative that is preparing the future that we want for this world. At the moment, I want to take back my thoughts to my country in 2007, when we experienced the worst of post-election violence and then of the nation. And through that, we had an intervention of one of the top speakers. The peace initiative was brought on board by Kofi Annan. And I want to quote him verbatim, even on opening of a conversation here. He says, concerning peace, we may have different religions, different colored skin, but all belong to one human race. I want to bring forth the subject of peace as well as leadership and also diversity as the three major factors that should be focused on, according to my opinion, towards bringing out a successful realization of the SDGs, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. To begin with, talking about peace, of course, the diversification of identities, to begin with races, the tribes, the skin color, the religion, has become the sole reason to divisions coming from nation to nation all across the continents. But then today we realize that the same diversification is power when well harmonized for bringing peace on board. You realize that addresses the need for leadership. Leadership brings forth the actualization and implementation of the beautiful and the well-described principles and policies that address peace. It also brings the absolute exploitation of the potential in situ, the pluripotency of knowledge, and also the weight of understanding that has not yet been brought out from the young people. This brings me a lot of joy because my audience being a young people today, then that really defines the beautiful future ahead that we are going to realize if truly these details are going to be realized. When you look at the aspect of balancing, bringing balance to the society, one of the major reasons why we have conflict and clashes is because of failure to balance the energies that we have. And these energies are misappropriated or exploited in the wrong way, or also they are not conceived with the weight that they hold. Why do I say this? We have situations right now all over the world globally, looking at the Ukraine war, looking also at the Iran-Iraq war, looking at the Indian-China, the difference, Indo-China differences, and all across the globe. Looking also at of course, the poverty, looking at the illiteracy that has eaten up the nations, and especially in the African nations, the corruption that has eaten up into the leadership. You realize there are factors that have to be reignited, and all this revolve around education. That takes me to the second subject that I wanted to address. Leadership. Education is the main item that would bring out the appropriate leadership that has understanding, that would elicit the kind of effect that we intend to achieve, if at all well directed, especially to the young people. And this leadership should be directed towards the result-oriented analysis or channel. In which way? So that eventually we have emotions that have been gathered towards, directed towards the agendas and the visions that have been laid forth. And on that note, I want to quote this, that the kind of leadership that we want is where leaders become a vision, and the vision becomes the people, and the people become a nation, which is a signature of unity. And then that nation becomes the globe, which has realized the vision, which is our peace, the peace that we want to achieve. And finally, the diversification, which becomes one of the biggest advantages that I found when I stepped to this nation of India. Diversification, for sure, is real power. As I finish, I want to observe that indeed our predecessors and the leaders that have come before us have done remarkable work to even reach where we are. It is now our duty as the young people to pick up from here and to consume these visions and become them, become part of them, and begin living them, so as we may have an effective and a perfect outcome out of the leadership that we want. And this will address the agenda of our subject, the Global Peace Summit, as well as education role realized among the people. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to participate.